Microphone check. 1, 2. Aye, aye, aye. All that time I've been sitting there talking to myself, basically. I know I do that anyway, but you know, you've not been hearing me on stream. I am here, and B Ford is the big news. He has invalidated for the second time of asking, and a naughty lad, and him and Aki, both the McLarens, not pulling their socks up at the minute. So let's check in with Mr. Tommy Rill. We know he needs a good performance here today in the Ferrari. He's looked impeccable when he's got it hooked up, you know. He's there, he's top draw, and he's really fighting. Oh, at the front and the sharp end. Very close to validating there. And he's given up on that one. Glad to see we have another person joining us, and that is Mr. CSR Pez, who joins us this afternoon for the Japanese Grand Prix. Here we go. Mr. Front half has gone purple in 2. Down towards the chicane. Don't use too much curve through there. Get on the power nicely. Short shift up through the gears. Hold the inside line. And across the line for front half. He's going to improve for provisional front row at 26.323. Very nice to see. Conabit in the house.
Good day. I'm here. I'm not late. I'm on time. Please stop questioning me. I was here about 4:30. You just couldn't hear me. That's what it was.
They couldn't hear me either, so you know, I'm glad you got your audio sorted out at last, and good to have you on board with us here. 5 minutes remain, and you'll be glad to know, boys and girls, that we are expecting rain at the end of the Grand Prix.
Oh, we gotta love a bit of rain at Japan. That first sector is tricky in the dry. When it starts raining, we're gonna see some spinados.
Yeah, you almost need some stabilizers on the rear end just to keep it in check through them S's when it's you've got a deluge of rain. But I'm also glad to see that B Ford is under a bit of pressure here today. He's invalidated both of his opening laps. Currently languishing down in P14. We want to see him sweat a bit. We want to see him sweat.
Yeah, the championship leaders. He didn't have a good race in the US, but other than that, he's had a pretty strong start to the season. And we want to see him have to work for those points. We don't want him getting it easy.
Yeah, currently got a 35-point advantage at the top of the order. I did read through the whole order earlier, but it was a complete waste of time because no one could actually hear me. As Celtic comes across the line, and it's a 26.6. Good lap to kick him off. Probably time to get in, back out again, and go for one more. I want to say spin, but I'm sorry. I'm going to curse him saying that.
We would not want that at all. If you could just send me an invite to the lobby quickly so I can get in, because it will not let me join off your profile, unfortunately. I was, but I just told them that so they wouldn't think I was late.
Okay. So,
cool.
Matt, who do you think is going to take the pole position here today, based on your observations so far?
On my observations so far, I know that the DHL signs on the pit. Well, I know that because Brazzi is currently fastest and Thron half is P2. I'm gonna say Thron half to take pole. Lawn, I think, is actually gonna bring a big lap out here and take P2, and then Ford to come up and set a lap right at the last and go into P3. And Brazzi's gonna mess up his final run. There you go. That's my predictions.
Let's hope that comes to fruition. Maybe not B Ford. You can stay where you are. Stay where you are. Suits me down to the ground. We had a couple of latecomers to the session. We had Westerns and Pez. Expect to see them skittle on down to the back of the grid come the actual race start. Maitland, you bottled it again. You've invalidated your lap time. I thought this was your track, Sam. You know, P9. Suzuka, where are ya? Who are ya?
Poor from Maitland.
Very
He
poor.
loves Suzuka. He's always going on about Suzuka, and I don't blame him because it's a great track. But that is poor from you, Maitland. Get it together.
So 2 minutes remain. A quick rundown of the championship. B Ford on 98 points. A further 35 behind is SLR Dacey. The leader has 3 wins, 1 pole and 1 fastest lap to his name. His next rival Dacey has no wins, no poles, but 2 fastest laps. He did not start the race in Italy, so that's really hampered him. Then we've got Tommy Real. He's had 2 DNFs so far, and he's back in P3 on 45 points. Then we've got Drazzy, Pez, Lucky Lambert, front half Lorne, Yanni Jans, Westerns, James, Maitland, Ludlow, Pullen, Celtic, Stubbsy, AMG. We've got Racing Carl, Shane, Vettel, Givad, Stato, Dunsworth, and Camo. And in the constructors, we have McLaren leading the way on 99 points. Just behind them, on a further 18 points behind is Ferrari, then Mercedes, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Williams, Haas, Racing Point, Renault, and Red Bull.
We've got the yellows in Sector 2. That's just a couple cars getting out the way to ensure that people on their push laps are not being held up. Ford is improving currently, only a 10th up. I'm guessing he made some kind of mistake at the end of his best run, which will be where he lost all the time. He's Maitland's retired. Is that in the pit lane? Yes, it is. Got a little bit excited there. Thought he might have been it on track. Nice stuff, Tommy Real. Ford comes through the final corner. Yellow flags are out, but he won't be slowing down. DRS open, and he goes P4. So Ford spares himself of a sort of last to first challenge and ends up towards the front. Boring.
We are hearing that he's going to get a 10-place grid penalty, just because we want to spice things up. Sorry, because of a breach of Article 65 of the sporting regulations.
Yep, subsection C it was that he broke. It's a real shame for him because he had it in the bag and he broke that rule, and he's got to start last now, unfortunately for him. Watch Westerns get a little bit wobbly going through Spoon Corner. He's pushing, they're all pushing here on this very challenging Suzuka circuit. And we are 10 seconds away from the clock hitting 0. No driver will then be able to start another flying lap.
Yeah, last laps are going to be coming thick and fast right now. And Maitland's just messaging me all kinds of excuses. We don't want to hear it. You crumbled, mate. You crumbled. You're going to start it up to the line. Is he going to improve from P14? No, he's not.
That's poor from Maitland trying to make excuses as well. Maitland, you're trash, alright? That's the problem we've got. You just need to get over it.
Couldn't have said it. More truer words. Lord up to the line. Will he improve? No, he doesn't. Who else we got out on track who contend for pole position? Dacey, one of my picks. He's bottled it as well. He's invalidated his lap. And we've got front half on track. Tommy's in pit lane. Drazzy's going again. Drazzy through the final few corners. He's going to improve on his time even. This must be one of his favourite circuits. Here he comes. Big Draz. And yes, he does. Into the 25s at 999. Just squeezes on into the 25s.
That's a great lap then for Drazzy to take pole by 0.3 of a second to his nearest rival. We've got front half who has invalidated. His lap will not be improving. And that does mean qualifying is complete. Drazzy on pole, Tommy P2, then it's Thron half, Ford, Ludlow, Lorne, Celtic, AC, Lambert, Yanni and James, Weston, Maitland, Stato, Aki and Pez.
I'm really impressed with this man Drazzy. He's really stepped up to the plate this season. And he looks like a man rejuvenated in that Mercedes. And a man not to be messed with. And he's going to try and surely duck run to the hills and grab that P1 slot in the Grand Prix. We are expecting rain at the end of the race. We hope it's not right at the end. We hope it's maybe 6 laps before the checkered flag. That would be lovely jubbly.
No, I haven't looked at. I didn't actually look at what tyres everybody did their laps on. We can see it now. They're all best laps on softs, apart from Maitland and Aki. They did their best laps on medium, but they're outside the top 10, so they'll get the free tyre choice anyway.
Yeah, and that might be critical because I'm also hearing it could be around the midway point or just after this rain. So, strategy, if you're starting outside the top 10, go on a harder compound, go deep into the race, avoid making an unnecessary stop onto another set of dry tyres. It could play yourself into the contention for the lead map.
That'll be a very big brain play to do. Yeah, and it's those soft runners at the front who might lose out on that one, having to make the pit stop before they can switch to inters for the rain. Yeah, that could definitely cost them in this one. Some nice blue skies for now. We don't think they're going to be staying for too long. Yeah, at Suzuka.
So if you're new to this league, Republic of Motorsport airs every weekend, every Sunday at 4:30 on the channel, of course, dependent on the F1. Because, Matt, we have some actual F1 action on the horizon. And how excited are you to hear that?
We have nearly finished the winter break. And you know what? It doesn't even feel like it's been that long. I think compared to what we had last year with 8 months of no racing, this little 3-month break has just flown by.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a surreal year, just in life in general, with lockdown, the new way of life, as it were. I mean, I was at testing this time last year, and it feels like 3 years ago, to be honest with you. Feels like an absolute lifetime ago. That was in a different country, getting on an aeroplane and actually seeing some on-track action. So, yeah, from the 12th to the 14th, we will see everyone put their challenges on the track in Bahrain. They're going to have about 8 hours of running every day. Only 3 days this year. They're going to be testing out the new tyre compounds, their new machinery. And what are the biggest changes that you've noticed on the cars this year, Matt?
Biggest changes, I think for some of them, it's the name. Like Aston Martin, Alpine. That's some
really?
big stuff. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they've also obviously got there's some slight changes to the regulations, some of which are a bit weird. Pirelli brought in their new tyre compound for this season, which was a bit harder, like it normally is, to make the tyres a bit more durable because the cars get faster every year. But at the same time, the rules change so that there's less floor to slow the cars down, so Pirelli wouldn't have to make a new tyre compound. So they've just made the cars slower twice. That's all they've done here, Rich.
Yeah, I think they was a bit embarrassed seeing Lewis Hamilton come across the line with only 3 of their valid tyres on the car, maybe. Maybe some concerns with that. We'll see. But yeah, a loss of aerodynamics, of course, a big difference, drastic change on the floor of the car as you get to the top of the Coke bottle, as it were, at the back. That is the most notable change, and they're going to be trying to claw back some of that to aerodynamics. But don't expect to see the teams, focus too much on this year's car, because I think the big prize going forward and in the long term will be that 2022 car when we get the big shake-up.
Yeah, and the other thing I'm interested for the 2022 cars is who's going to be driving them, because we got a few drivers who are on 1-year deals. The first one is Raikkonen, but then again we say Raikkonen's going to retire at the end of the season every year for the last 3 years, and he's still here, still going with his hobby, guys. Yes, I'm doing all the time.
He knows what to do.
The other one is the resident 7-time world champion who's only signed the 1-year deal. It's a bit of an interesting one, I thought, when I read that it was only for 1 season. I don't know whether that's just something in the deal that he wanted maybe changing after a year, or whether there is whether he only intends to go on for 1 more year. It's all speculation. It's all up in the air.
Now, one thing you you can say about Lewis Hamilton. He's been quite a shrewd operator. You know, he cut ties with McLaren. You'd probably say at the right time. A lot of people doubted his move over to Mercedes when the time came, but he's just gone from strength to strength. You know, moving to Mercedes, he had one title to his name, and look what he's gone on to achieve. So, I think he's keeping his options open. See what life brings, maybe. But I wouldn't be at all surprised if I saw him in an Aston Martin. I think that could be on the cards.
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me all too much either. Which driver would go in that scenario? You'd have to hope for Lance Stroll to go because Daddy's cash and all. But because he's Daddy's cash, he does kind of have permanent dibs on that seat, which leaves Sebastian Vettel in a rather unfortunate position should Lewis want to make the jump. But I don't know. We don't even know how Vettel's going to do this season. He might have a shocker like he did last year.
Yeah, it's big ifs, buts, and maybes, and of course it all depends on Mercedes. They're sort of like forward thinking, how long they want to be in the sport. I'm sure the senior management are highly focusing on the electronic side of their, their makeup, their what they want to market as well. They're putting a lot of time and effort into the Formula E, and even with like this year's branding, it's sort of more focused towards the Formula E aspect, and we're focusing more on the AMG brand rather than the Mercedes, and that's been switched over to Stoffel Van Dorn and co over in the Formula E.
Yes, the AMG on the rear of the Mercedes. If you didn't know, by the way, it says AMG on the rear of the Mercedes a lot of times.
It says
you know, It's a lot of the same. Merc potentially messing up their livery a little bit. It doesn't quite work in my opinion. I think what we're seeing here on the 2020 game, it looks a lot nicer, a lot cleaner than what they've come up with. Yeah.
And it's gone downhill really quick for the new season.
Anyway, we do have cars going round in circles right now on the formation lap. Oh yeah, they're irrelevant. We're just here to discuss F1. This is a podcast now, not.
We do what we want.
League race.
Okay.
Yes, we take this with the Kimi Räikkönen approach. I'm just looking at tyres, Rich. We got two cars going for the mediums. That's Maitland and Pez, both the AlphaTauri cars, doing that strategy. And the other interesting call is hard tyres for Stato, however you pronounce that, and Aki down in 14th and 15th.
Aki Ang.
Aki Ang.
He's invested
branding.
Yeah, Ang. I'm surprised it's not Am.
Yeah,
yes,
you saw that he stole one from Mark.
Welcome along to the Republic of Motorsport. Round 6, I want to say. I'm not sure at this point. I'm losing all the marbles.
6.
They're out the bag.
Okay, 6.
Here in Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix. We've got Drazzy on pole position. It's Mercedes, Ferrari on the front row. It's been a while since we've seen that, and I think it's going to be a fantastic race. Front half is on the second row with B Ford. We've got Ludlow and Lawn, Celtic and Dacey, Lambert and Yanni Jans, James and Westerns, Maitland on their mediums. Watch out for him, as well as Stato, Aki, and then Pez at the back of the grid. And rain, come very soon. Here's Mr. Connebeer, and here's the start of the Grand Prix.
It's a sweeping right hand of the first corner here at Suzuka, and it's one that can cause incidents when the cars are so close on the opening lap. We're waiting then for Cesar Pez to pull into his grid position, and then we'll get the lights going, ready for the start of the Japanese Grand Prix. The car on the medium tyres pulls in the P16 grid slot, and we are ready for action here at Suzuka. Green flags will be waved at the back of the pack shortly. I have no idea if it's there on yours as well. The game likes to do weird things from time to time. Just like make us wait here. And last time it did this, we got some dramatic music, and maybe do the same soon. Be just vibing. Grid. Hit the Xbox button, everyone. That normally fixes it. Let's get some boarding music this time. Sort of.
We should be better prepared at this point.
We should, shouldn't we? We should have thought about this in advance.
We're crackling a bit.
That is
Crackling a quick audio reset.
Cool.
Because we ain't going nowhere.
I feel like we're going to have a lobby restart. Celtics left, and the lights have gone on. So we're going to assume this is the race start then. It's lights out now, and away we go. And it's Drazzy then who will lead the way at the start, or will he? Because Tommy Real has got a launch off the start. He's going to go down the inside into the first corner. The Mercedes holds it around the outside, but I think the Ferrari has got that one done. And that is Tommy Real through it into the lead. Drazzy still looks up the inside, and there's contact. The Mercedes just spun round the first part of the S's. I think they will otherwise managed to avoid him. But the Mercedes just tried to stick one up the inside at the end of the corner. You really shouldn't. He spun himself round. He made a barrier, and I do believe he is out of the Japanese Grand Prix.
No, disaster for Drazzy. He looked impeccable in qualifying, and that is a damn shame to see. Driver's getting a bit too punchy at the start. Yeah. And back to green flag racing once again on lap 1 here in Suzuka. We've already lost one. Celtic is going to be dropping like a stone. Oh, we got contact there in the background. It was Maitland. Pez just gets on by the two teammates there. Pez is going to fly on through past the stricken Celtic, and also Maitland moves himself up into P12 at the front of the order. B Ford is going to challenge here. He's not going to challenge, he's absolutely going to fly on past front half here on the way down to 130, out already making up a number of positions on the opening lap. One was gifted to him when we've lost Drazzy there. And further down the order we've got more cars battling, but we'll focus on here. Tommy Real has a 2.3 second lead at the front of the order. And yeah, too much drama on lap 1.
Yeah, got lucky now, but looking like he wants to maybe make a move here on lawn. This is battle for P4. Ignore the timing tower. It's just doing its thing right now. Unlucky down, but chooses back out of that one, plays it safe. We've got James and Dacey going wheel to wheel in the background there, going into the S's. This could be dangerous. The Williams hangs on in there, and in all fairness, he's got that one done. Fair play to Dacey. He puts himself ahead of James. Weston's had a look there at his teammate as well.
Some good driving on display, and Dacey struggling a bit up in front of us there. Back end just kicking out through Dunlop, and we're just going to hide them timings because they're going doing their usual.
We go on to the timing tower. I will let you know when that is all sorted. We're just waiting for the front half to reset, and then it should be back to normal. Tommy Real then continues to lead from his nearest rival, currently B Ford. He's using a lot of ERS early on. Look at Tommy Real, he's out of battery already.
Yeah, he's wanting to like duck and run to the hills. He knows if he gets B Ford on his tail, that DRS in effect, it's going to be bad news for him.
Timing tower is all good now, by the way. You can bring it back up.
Bring it back. Good. So Lawn is closing on in. Tommy sets the fastest lap. Will anyone beat that? Only 1:30.4. DRS now
down, but looking like he wants to get a move done. Struggle still, just tucked in behind once again. Will hold his P5. It's very bright up in the sky right now. I thought when you told me we were going to get some rain, I was expecting grey clouds all across the sky, but it's looking blue, it's looking nice and dry, so expect the rain when it does come. It comes very abruptly. And that might help the drivers for trying to extend to that rain period. It should just mean it gets there a little bit quicker. They shouldn't have to drive around on worn tyres, worn slicks in the rain for too long.
Yeah, because you have a few different permutations. Sometimes, you know, you get the rain, but the track's not really wet enough for 4 or 5 laps. So let's hope it comes down in a deluge and you have to box within a lap or two. And it's really going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons when it comes to the strategy around here in Suzuka.
If I tried it in the chat saying, what a joke. Frustrated, you have to agree there. Being out of the race from pole position so early on, we won't try and point fingers for that incident. We'll leave that one to the stewards later on. But it is unfortunate to see the pole sitter out before the end of the first lap.
Coming to turn one, will anyone be close enough? Austin is closing on in. Looks to be behaving themselves now. Yeah, we were sad to see you out, Jazzy. You done excellent in qualifying. You look like you had great form around here. But the stewards will deal with that as and when needed.
Cars are all sort of coming single file now. As you say, just behaving themselves. It's quite a tough one to overtake here.
Oh, Ludlow's had a moment. Lawn is past him. And Lambert's going to be on the attack as well. Look like he must have got a bit loose out the corner, and Lucky Lambert's going to go up the inside of him as well here.
They're going to go side by side on the run up to Spoon Curve. Very tricky corner to pass if you're not alongside going into the corner. And Lucky Lamp does the right thing not to make a stand. We've got yellow flags out. I think that's for Thronhalf, who has had a spin at the end of the Yetis. I think that's Dunlop that corner. He's gone round and he is now even further behind the rest of the pack.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to the safety car gods to try and get him into this one. Lucky Lambert's going to try and eye up and move down into the chicane. Is he going to send one? He's not that brave on this occasion, and Dacey almost goes into the back of the pair of them there. And you can see we're getting a nice
he's
train
gone
here.
Dacey! Dacey spun it, coming out of the chicane into the gravel trap. He'll try and get that one back on the racetrack. He's got away with no damage, but he's lost a lot of time in a lot of places there. Oh dear, for Dacey down to P13 as Pez now gets past Yanian up in a P9 on the medium size. The two AlphaTauris making steady progress up the field now, currently P8 and P9.
Doing a good job there, Stato. I think that's his second penalty of the afternoon. The only man yet to be warned for track limits, and it's turning into a nice battle for the final podium position. It's between Lawn, Ludlow, Lambert, James. Weston's in on the action, as well as Maitland in P8s.
They're all forming on that chain and expect Pez to join them very shortly. He's been gaining now since passing Yanni Jans. We're still controlling things up front though. That gap still hovering around 2 seconds.
Yeah, you bet your bottom dollar will be giving it absolutely everything and be telling the engineer, I need more power. I need more power. He needs more horses in the back of that Ferrari. Because B Ford is slowly nibbling away, but doing everything he needs for the time being.
Yeah, it's a Ferrari car that didn't have the horses in real life, but here with equal cars, it's got all the horses the Mercedes does. Use that then to power clear of the McLaren behind and stay in that race lead and maintain that gap of Pez. That's the fastest lap of the race at 1 minute 30.1, and he is gaining on the cars ahead. As we got Celtic and Aki side by side into turn 1, and that's the Ferrari off Celtic through and into P11, then goes deep at the second part of that first corner and loses out again, and will have to tuck in behind. Aki then maintains P11.
We've got the two racing points getting a bit too close on track here, and I do feel at this stage, or for the last couple of laps even, that Westerns does have the pace of these two cars, and Pez pushing a bit too hard, just set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, but it's picked up a 3-second time penalty for the end of the race. All his hard work.
A couple of corners here where you can pick up the time penalties. The main one is the Degner 1. Others maybe exit of turn 1 and then Spoon. Halfway through Spoon when you run out wide. They're the main places where you tend to pick up warnings for track limits.
As Weston's got a bit wide on the exit of Spoon when he's talking about it, and here comes Maitland. It's going to be on the power. He had the momentum and he's going to fly on by and up into P7.
They what the battery of Maitland and Weston's both not ideal. They were both in the D rates there at the end of that straight. Maybe just need now to use this DRS straight to save some battery.
And Lorne is really coming under pressure now. You can feel the train behind him, and Ludlow as well, having a look down into turn 1. Not the ideal place to try and make a move. If you try to go up the inside, you're going to shallow your line into 1. It's going to compromise you through 2, and they can get the switch back through onto the S's. Oh, look at Maitland, so close. He's in a racing point sandwich.
Maitland particularly enjoying this Suzuka circuit on this Sunday afternoon. He's looking to fight his way through the order, coming from outside of the top 10 on the grid. He was making excuses to skills, but he's making up for it in the race.
How long do we expect the soft tyres to last around here? Do we expect to see him in the pits anytime soon?
Lap 10-ish, I seem to remember, to go for. I think they have to put the hard tyres on to do the soft runners to get to the end. I think it's a stretch on the mediums. I don't know, they might be mediums, but I'm pretty sure they'll be putting on the hard compound tyre, which is durable, but very, very slippy.
Yeah, if you're very confident we're going to see some rain today, looking at the skies, I don't think we are. James in the pits. You maybe would go on a softer compound, wouldn't you? Go on the medium, or maybe even another soft.
Yeah, I wouldn't go with the soft. I think that would be a bit too risky. But I think the mediums, yeah, you might go for it. James has chosen not to take that risk though. He's popped for fresh hard tyres. We'll see what Daisy puts on as well. He's currently in pit lane, and for him it is a fresh wing and fresh hard tyres.
So at the front of the order, Tommy Real leads as being forward by 2.3 seconds, then a further 4.3 back. We've got Lorne, and the battle for the final podium slot between himself, Ludlow, Lambert, Maitland, Westons. Pez has joined the party as well, and we've got 4-second step to Yanni Jans, Celtic and Co. Oh, what's happened to Lambert?
Lag, I think, is the answer to that one.
I thought we were just going to rear-end him there.
Yeah, it was a scary moment there, but in the end, Lambert just having a slight moment of poor connection. He does hold on to P5, Maitland still having to put the pressure on to try and get himself up in that position, and Mr. Ford has come into the pits. He's trying the undercut on the race leader.
See where that's going to bring him back out. Quite a number of cars in. B Ford, Westons and Lorne all in the pits. As yeah, Westons on the mediums.
There we go. Someone throwing the dice on the strategy. We like to see that. So potentially trying to go to that rain period. Maybe the final few laps here. We've still got very blue skies, about a third of the way through.
Oh, Weston's has gone round. Just come out the pits. Cold tyres. He's sideways through sector 1. Yanni Jans gets past. Spindala,
barriers?
No. Anything damaged is his pride.
Yeah, we're just saying he's gone for it on alternative strategy. It's not going to work out too well now, but he's had a trip off into the grass. He'll have to fight to make up that time that he's already lost in this one. Tommy Real coming through 130R and up towards the final chicane. We're going to see if he comes into pit lane at the end of this lap. It was Ford who's trying the undercut, got clean there on those hard tyres, and indeed Tommy Real does fly down into pit lane.
These medium runners of Maitland and Pez, they're coming into their own right now, and Lucky Lambert is going to be like a lamb to the slaughter this lap. He's going to go defensive as we come down the main straight, DRS in effect. He's just got it as well off the car ahead. I think that's going to be saving grace, but yeah, Maitland's giving it everything. He's already derating it. He's going to go up the inside. They're going to go wheel to wheel. This is not advisable. Oh, and around the outside, and Pez can have a look as well. Both the AlphaTauris trying to have a look.
Yeah, that was Lucky Lambert playing it safe and backing out of a move from Maitland, and in the end nearly cost him a place. Meanwhile, B Ford has come behind Tommy Real ahead on the track after those two pit stops.
Managed to get out ahead of Stato. That's going to be critical. And talking of Stato, he's just got passed by James, running very wide there, struggling a lot it seems.
He's on those warm hards, isn't he? Will be struggling a lot of grip.
And look up the inside. Contacts.
Is that wing damage potentially then for the Alfa Romeo? There was a big hit there. You'd have to say as he stepped onto the inside. I think he has got wing damage on the right side end plate. Oh, not what he needed.
Especially on them hard tyres through that first sector, that's where it's really going to cost you. We need the front end to really stick and get planted. Oh, and into the pits is Lucky Lambert.
That leaves Maitland and Pez now, who started on the mediums, to get some clean air and walk away in the lead right now. Lambert's got mediums. Nice strategy call.
Lambert comes out just ahead of Ludlow. Sorry, boss.
Good to say Weston's, after his mistake, has now set the fastest lap of the race. So he does still have the pace in this one. He just cost himself a lot there with that little spin out of his lane.
The race starting to settle down a little bit at this point on lap 11 of 27 here in Suzuka. I'd have to say B Ford looking quite confident at the minute. He's taking a bit more time out of Tommy Real, who will now have DRS, who have to get past Amwak and get himself up into P3.
Aki Ang obviously yet to make his pit stop, so he's going to be struggling on those hards. Hard tyres are just painful when they're fresh, let alone when they start to have a wee bit of wear on them. He kicks up some of the grass there. We got Tommy Real in the DRS. I think he's going to be a bit too far behind though. So now I'm going to have to follow him through the S's, and that is going to be hurting his speed. That's going to allow Ford to catch up to him here. The gap currently 1.6 seconds. We've got yellows in the sector 3. That's all gone clear now though. Ludlow now in pit lane.
Interesting what happened there. No retirees.
Maybe Ludlow messed up his entrance to the pits or something, I don't know.
I do love a cheeky send into this hairpin. It's one of my favourite places to get a move done. Catch him off guard. Not on this occasion though, not close enough.
How Aki is just helping out his teammate right now. Just Ford almost within DRS range. Oh, is the Ferrari going to go for it? Into Spoon. He got very close there. I thought he might just think about something. But didn't go for it. The McLaren's dropped it on the curb. And there goes Aki Am into the wall. I think he might just get that out of the wall to be fair, but he's definitely had his pride there. He's spun out, he's allowed Tommy and Ford to go through, nearly called him Rooney there.
Oh, look at the ERS difference now. B Ford only 16% and Tommy on 78, so hammer time.
Here comes Ford gaining all the time as they run up towards the first corner. I think he's going to go for it here. Gone to the inside, and this is going to be for the race lead once the lead is pit, and Ford has gone down the inside and put himself through into P3. That will become the race lead.
He knew he had to get it done. He's running low on the battery. You can see the flashing light up ahead of us, but what a send, what a move. And he got it stuck. It's very difficult, like I say, having that shadow line into one when you have the inside, but he got it done. He made it stick. Damn, what a move.
If he's got the pace to pull away, that was the right thing to do. If he doesn't, I think he should have just sat in behind for a few laps and used the DRS to stay and back, because can't be real. He's surely just going to be able to fly straight back past him next time with the DRS.
Lucky Lambert is now eyeing up James up ahead of him. Very close. Looking up in the sky, we've got a few more clouds starting to close in as we approach the halfway mark here.
Yeah, plenty of clouds overhead, but still plenty of blue as well, so no rain for a short while yet. We are still expecting that to come in a closing lap. The question is now, is it going to arrive so late, that we won't actually see them switch to inters?
Yeah, I think the advantage still lays with the likes of Maitland and Pez. They can probably extend after starting on that fresh medium. As up the inside goes Lambert, gets a better exit out of the last corner, and it's going to be a pretty slam dunk move before T1. But yeah, they should be able to go mediums to softs, you'd imagine.
Yes, indeed, we should think so. Maitland doing what he can out front right now, just trying to... I can't... Have they been breaking away from Ford? Have they been losing time? I haven't really been watching that gap. I think they might be losing time, to be fair.
Yeah, at this stage you expect them, as you can see, just slowly nibbling away. But the advantage at the end of the race will be clearly in their courts.
Weston's now ahead of Stato. That's the battle for P10. Final points play position. Stato still yet to make his pit stop. And now he's got the Ferrari behind him of Celtic. He's going to go down the outside and gets on the throttle earlier, just squeezing that car on the inside so he couldn't get on the throttle, and that allows Celtic to go past. Nicely done there for the Ferrari.
What a move by Celtic, round the outside at the hairpin. Lambert now has Lawn in his sights. Afraid get it sent down the main straight, it seems. Maitland. 3 seconds to Maitland.
Oh, come on, Maitland. Can't be doing that. That's just silly.
Here we go. Here comes the Haas. He's going to have to do it the long way round. Oh, contact. Lawn just got clipped there. Just to hang on somehow. He's going to have cooked his tyres. He's going to have to tiptoe through sector 1 now.
And for the second time in this race, we've seen a Mercedes been spun round in the first sector. First time it was Drasty. This time it was Lawn. And that's cost him a place to James as well.
Okay, Tommy, we need you to push. We need you to push.
Let's see, the lead is about to pit. They've done 15 laps now on those medium tyres. It's going to be getting to the point now where they might be thinking about making that switch over to a set of soft compound tyres. We're going to... Tommy Roll, he's 5 tenths away. Does he want to get the move done now, or is he happy to sit in behind? He's got the DRS, he's not using an overtake. He's just going to tuck in behind. This is allowing Ford to save battery a bit here, not having to use his to defend so much, and yeah, so going Ford's way for the time being.
Stacey picks up a 3-second time penalty, so the P1 and P2, of course, they're in the same team, so it's going to be interesting who gets the call first, who's going to take advantage of that, because surely coming out on the soft is going to be a big tyre difference and a huge undercut.
Normally do it, the lead car goes in first, so that would be Maitland. Unless Pez decides he ain't playing no team games and chooses to pit first. Exactly one of them to come in shortly, and yeah. I was just thinking, we had 3 Italian Grand Prix last season. we've had 2 races in Germany this season. We've had 2 races in Spain in the season before. I think we should have 2 races in Japan. 1 at Suzuka, 1 at Fuji, to be honest. I think that would be a good addition to the calendar.
Here comes Tommy! Oh, he's so close. I think that's a great call as well, mate. And
Go on,
Pez,
Tommy, make the send, make the send.
Pez said,
Well.
I ain't playing no game. He's come straight into the pits.
Okay, Pez going for the undercut on the teammate then, but we're going to follow Tommy Real because he's now right up behind Ford. If he just uses the overtake button, he might have been able to have it going to the first corner. He's gaining on him anyway though. Can he go to the outside? No, he can't. We'll have to tuck him behind. Was that the lap he should have gone for it, Rich?
Maybe he's trying to make B Ford sweat a bit and use up that remaining bit of juice in the tank to defend the lead and just pounce when it suits him, maybe in the last couple of laps.
Pez comes out in P5 on his fresh softs, and he's now 1.6 seconds behind the car ahead. That's Lucky Lambert. Once he's cleared him, it's about a 10-second gap he's going to close down up to the leaders. Will be a big ask. But if anyone can do it, it is CSR Pez. He's a very talented driver, and he will be giving it everything.
So expect to see Maitland into the pits this lap.
Maitland!
Going to need to respond, otherwise the difference will be huge. Amg with another 3-second penalty. As we come up towards 130R, he's going to catch him in the wrong place. Just have to hold station for the time being.
Or does he? Oh, I thought he might have a look there. He was so
Maitland.
close. Oh, Maitland, you muppet. Poor from you, Maitland. Get it together. Honestly. Here we go then. Tommy Real gets the DRS open. Will he use his button this time? He chooses not to. Ford's not using his, but he's getting the D-rates on the battery, and that's why Tommy Real closed up so dramatically towards the end of the straight. The McLaren's battery effectively going into a sort of safety mode.
Down the inside. He's got past his teammate as well. And past Lambert up into P3.
Yeah, and I think he is right now, seeing as Magnus got the penalty that Pez is the lead car, so it's sort of worked out for them in the end. But yeah, Maitland, come on, get it together. Unbelievable. Can't bottle a race every time. You need to get it together.
Getting too greedy. Didn't get on the brakes quick enough into pit lane, and that's cost him 5 seconds to be added to his race time. And it's further down the order, and looks like front half has got past Stato up into P12. Daisy hot on the heels of Yanni Jans as well, and we got to have a change of the lead, are we? Oh, very close there. Delta was closing in.
Indeed, we're going to have Tommy Real going for the lead very shortly. I do believe I'm going to have to leave you in a sec, Rich, just to make sure that I'm free for later on. But here comes Tommy Real. He's gaining so close to McLaren. He's going to send one to the outside of the chicane. He's gone for it late on the brakes. Tucks in behind though. Knows it's going to be good to get the DRS as Maitland pulls a move on Lucky Lambert. I think he's got that done up at 130R as well. Nice stuff. Here comes Tommy Real though. Down the outside on the run towards the first corner. Puts himself past and back into the lead. The Japanese Grand Prix just as the clouds start to come overhead. Ready for the rain. Pez hits the fastest lap. And I am going to have to leave you, Rich, because I've got to make sure I'm ready to be racing at opposite. So I will see you in a bit and enjoy the rest of the race.
Thank you for joining us today, Matt, and we hope to see you next week. Enjoy your meal, and we'll see you in the CSR Esports event later on.
In a bit.
Here we go. Now Tommy Real has taken the lead of this Grand Prix. He should have enough in reserve to try and pull the margin, and he needs to try and break it before B Ford has the luxury of DRS to his advantage. And we can see the clouds moving very quickly in the skies now. We're on lap 19 of 27, and the rain still hasn't fallen like it was forecasted. It's still quite bright. The sun is beaming down on the track. I expect in the next 2 to 3 laps that to change drastically by looks up in the skies. And let's hope the heavens open and throws a bit of spice onto this Grand Prix. Settle down in the in terms of the lead of this Grand Prix. Pez is 7.3 seconds behind. It was about 10 seconds, so he's taking huge chunks out of the leaders. We've seen Maitland pick up a 5-second penalty as well as 3 seconds, with a total of 8 seconds to his name. And he's really not going to challenge his teammate for the rest of this Grand Prix. And B Ford now on the main straight. He's going to have the DRS to his advantage. Will he start to use the ERS? He's in overtake and he's going to be derating before turn 1. Tommy needs to close the door and make him go the long way around. And B Ford says thank you very much. He's going to do it anyway and go round the outside and derate as much as you want through the first sector because it's so hard to get past. And talking of maintenance, it's actually gone past Pez. And interesting call there. 1 lap younger tyres though, but as we can see from the penalty situation, an additional 5. And yeah, the sun has now gone in. It's done its duty for today. And yeah, big black clouds up above us. So expect the first raindrops. Next 1 to 2 laps, we've got a yellow flag. Who is that? James has gone in Dunlop, top of the hill there. And we've got some damage, yeah, extensive damage on the front left of that car. He's going to need to box. And you can see how drastically the lighting has changed. That's going to change the mood as well of the drivers. The track temp starts to drop off. And they'll just be waiting for them raindrops to start falling on their heads. So with the leaders, again, B Ford giving it absolutely everything in terms of ERS, the energy recovery system. Tommy just needs to stay there, bank what he needs, and make a final push when it matters. But if the rain does come down, you don't want ERS. You know, you don't want any extra fuel. You want to put it down into lean revs. You want to cruise home and not spin up any traction at all. As Aki gets on past Stato into that final chicane. And into the pits comes Stato. As well as, who's that? James up ahead of us. James, of course, just get that damage after that spin at the top of the hill, we believe. Checking back in with the leaders. Tommy keeping B Ford very honest. 1 lap fresher tyres. We don't expect tyre wear to be too much of an issue on the harder compound of tyre. Anyone who did choose the medium, such as Lucky Lambert, will struggle in the final laps. Come on, Rain. Rain, we need you now. Here comes Tommy. He's got B Ford in his sights. He's going to catch him right on the apex of 130R, which is not ideal. See B Ford already derating there into the corner. Tommy doing very well not to collide with the rear end of that McLaren. And yeah, Ben getting a great exit out the final corner and onto the main straight. Tommy really not attacking him at this point. And further down the grid, looks like Weston's is quite close to Lawn. Let's check in with that battle. Lawn going very defensive, hugging the inside line into 1. Again, he's used up his battery. Weston's just looking for that optimal line, just to carry the momentum, which is all about on this track. Celtic as well, closing up on Dacey. Where's the rain when you need it, boys? At the back of the order, James has just got past Stato on the main straight. Just missed that off camera. And here is the rain, I do believe. Did I see a drop? Maybe not. I think I just wanted to see it so bad at this point. Ben going defensive, hugging the inside line. I don't think it'll be close enough or attack at this point. We're going to cut to this battle between Lawn and Westons. The Westons make a move down into T1. Have a little look up the inside. Lorne just places his car in the centre of the circuit. No space for him to get around. Maitland now 3.6 seconds off the leaders. Can he throw a spanner in the works? He's really got to go scenario 7 now, because if the rain does come, it's too late to box even. It depends how wet the track gets, how quickly. Checking back in with Tommy. This is very close coming into Spoon. Is he going to go for it this time? I'm sure that was the rain coming on. What was it? Looked like it there for a split second. Tommy likes to close up here. Yes, I'm sure that's rain. Here is the rain. Lap, or the end of lap 23, start of lap 24. Is it too little, too late? Is anyone going to need to box? I mean, Maitland and Pez, they're going to be on the ideal tyre. You want to be on the softest compound as possible, have the most grip as possible. It's going to be at the end of their tyre life though as well. It's going to be an interesting end to this race. Who can keep it pointing the right way, and how quick will the track moisten up? We're about to find out here in Suzuka. Further down the order, Westerns has gone the long way around, and what a move there. And that's also by Dacey. Oh, Dacey just approaching a bit too quickly there. Had to get out of it. Don't touch that curb, it will absolutely kill you. And Celtic fancies a piece of this. Says, all right lads, you go for it. I'm going to pick up the pieces here. James in the pits. Must have got more damage. Let's see what tyre he goes on to. On to Inters. He's thrown the dice there. I mean, that is a throw of the dice. Track is clearly not wet enough yet. As you can see, that is Maitland behind us now. Leaders staying out. As they come through to start lap 25 of 27. 3 to go here in Suzuka. The pole sitter went out on lap 1. Collision. His teammate also involved in a sector 1 collision. B Ford starting down the order. It's been making up the ground all race long. Pez and Maitland starting on the medium tyres, that alternate strategy. They're coming good about now. But Maitland does have 8 seconds to his name. Pez 3 seconds. Still with work to do in the final few laps here. And we've got a fantastic battle heating up here for the battle of P6 between Western's Dacey, Lorne and Celtic. I think they're going to be absolutely tiptoeing through the final lap now. Still looks okay for the time being, but it's going to be at that crossover period soon. Bit of a lock up there for B Ford. I've choose to stay out again. I think we're going to make up the time because it gets so wet. James has retired. Them intermediate tyres clearly not working. Oh, here we go. Dacey hot on the heels of Westerns. He's gave it absolutely everything, Westerns, but it's going to be a day late and $1 short because the battery is flat. Dacey is not. Advantage Dacey. Yellows off for that retiree in pit lane. We're on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, and now Maitland has thrown his hat into the ring. And there'll be a cat amongst the pigeons in this final few laps here. See how much time he's gaining. Look at that. He's even struggling on them soft tyres. It's going to be survival of the fittest. You're going to have like reflexes like a cat as well in these closing laps here in Suzuka. Gonna need a smooth operation and a smooth operator. There you go. Is Maitland gonna really upset this battle for the lead? You betcha. Everyone's struggling for the power as we start the final lap here in Suzuka. Who can keep it pointed the right way and get the traction across the line in the final lap? Tommy Rill goes to the inside. B4's not having none of it, but he keeps the door open. Here comes Tommy. He's going to go for the lead of the Grand Prix. Ford is not giving up. He's going to touch wheels and he's going to try and muscle his way through. I'm not too sure about that one. He just leaned on him there, and Maitland in the background having a big moment. Not over until the fat lady is singing. We're going to stay on board with this battle on the final lap. It's all to be won and lost at the front of the grid here. Ford running a bit wide. It's all going to be about just getting that power down nicely, not being too greedy now. Very easy to have a moment. 130R. You keep your foot fully down. You keep overtake on. You keep it in rich revs. These are all questions which we're about to find out as we're going to exit Spoon for the final time. Ford struggling on the power. This is Tommy's chance. Can he get on the power now? Ford is giving the battery absolutely everything it's got. He's running out of power. Here comes the Ferrari driver. Is he going to be able to send it down into the last chicane? He's gaining. He's gaining. He's going to have a look around the inside and back to the inside. Is Ford going to block him off? Oh, he's got nowhere to go. Just line up the power. Oh, Ford just blocking him out the final corner. They come up to the line. B4's going to win it on track. And no, there's contact out the final corner. Maitland's in the barrier. He's out of the Grand Prix from third place. Huge drama at the end. Pez is going to come home P3. Lambert in P4. Oh, and there's going to be a big investigation of them final few laps. Was that fair? Was that harsh? That was harsh on Maitland. But earlier, Tommy gave it everything. Ford bashed wheels when it looked like Tommy was ahead. That's such a shame for Maitland. Even though he did have them penalties, he was on for solid points. He's out. He's out. Ludlow's going to come home to take the final point in P10. So he gave it everything. Comes home P11. Aki Amg actually jumps up to P11 after penalties, and Stato going to cross the line. That came to the boil at the end. I think we needed the rain a few laps earlier, but it did do its part. It played its part. Pez, from starting at the back, got his way up onto a podium. A valiant drive there. So there's your podium. Ben takes the win. Tommy just misses out. He tried to play his cards right at the death there. He went wheel to wheel on the final lap. Great drama, great action, and desperate scenes there from the Alpha Tauri of Maitland. But here's your final order. B Ford with the win, Tommy Rill P2, Pez in third, then we had Lucky Lambert, Weston's Lawn, Dacey, Yanni Jans, front half, and Ludlow. And then just outside the points, we had Aki, Stato, Celtic. Maitland didn't finish, still classified of course, as it was on the final corner of the final lap. James, 3 laps down, retired, and Drazzy, lap 1, started pole, looked fantastic. There's going to be an investigation, you betcha, into that one as well. Mamma mia. So thank you for all tuning in. This has been Suzuka. This has been the Japanese Grand Prix. I've been CSR Skills. We thank Matthew Connerbeer for his contributions today. Join us same time, same place next week for round 7.